Coming up next on the Jeff Crilley Show, you're going to meet one of the most dedicated and determined people I have ever met. Her name is Krystalore Crews, and she's going to teach us all how to cruise beyond limits. Her incredible journey just ahead.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team, and the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show.
Well, I'm not often as inspired as I am for my next guest. She has the determination, the willpower of an Olympic athlete. In fact, I think if she decided to train for the Olympics right now, she would make the team in any sport. Krystalore Crews is in the studio. She's with Cruise Beyond Limits. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me, Jeff.
Very good.
Honor.
So we met through the great Bill Walsh, and we were at an event together, and I think it was in Chicago. And you said, hey, will you join us for our wake-up routine? And what time were you working out in the parking lot?
5:30.
5:30. And this is every day, isn't it?
Every other day, yes.
Wow. Mm-hmm. Well, I want people to know a little bit about your journey. Just for the record, she's given 2 TED Talks this morning and ran a half marathon, and it's only 10 o'clock in the morning. So I'm joking, but no, you do have that kind of determination. First of all, let's get people to know you. Where does that perfectionism, that drive, that determination comes from?
Gosh, so I think it really comes from the start of my military career, almost 22 years ago. I learned a lot of discipline. And then shortly after that, I tried out for the NFL, was able to make it to the NFL as a young dancer, cheerleader, athlete. I think when you make it to the NFL, you're like, wow, you made it, right? And I think that was just the beginning of my journey as an adult. And it's been a wild journey ever since.
Well, and she's a very powerful coach because she pushes herself beyond her limits, and she knows how to also exercise self-care, and she teaches that to others. We're going to pull up her website, and as we scroll down the website, I want you to talk about how you help people, everything from speeches to retreats. How do you engage people?
Well, I love to help people just fall in love with themselves, most importantly, right? I think many times, especially as women, we tend to put ourselves last, and we take care of everyone and everything else, right? Our family, our spouses, our careers, our business, right? And then our health and wellness takes a back seat. So what I love to do is let women put them in the driver's seat and take control of their life and their health and wellness so they don't wait till it's too late.
Yes, and it's important to watch the language you use on yourself, because so many of us will look in the mirror and they'll say, oh my God, I look horrible, I need to lose a couple of pounds. Let's talk about the importance of positive self-talk.
Yes, and as an emotional intelligence coach, This is what I study. They call me a people strategist. So I love to put psychology and human behavior into the health and wellness space. So that self-talk is so important. Self-awareness and really looking internally and saying, okay, what's coming up for me? What experiences have I been through that are driving my thoughts and behaviors and decision-making, or maybe lack of decision-making?
Yeah, well, at one point you were an NFL cheerleader, and I have to imagine how competitive that is to even get on the team. But then once you're on the team, are you always saying, oh, she looks better than I do? And I mean, talk about that world and how you navigated that.
Yeah, so comparison, I always say, is the thief of evil, thief of all joy.
Yeah.
And when we compare ourselves to others, it makes it about us, right? And so for me, it was like, how can I serve the community even more? And that's, as an entrepreneur, and even here today with you, Jeff, it's like, how can I serve just that one person? Yes. Instead of saying, I'm not there yet. So now every single time, I even made the team, right? 2005, made the team. It was like I was at the top of the top. And then I had to try out every single week, right? And so I had to consistently show up powerfully with a message, with a presence, And so that is really where I learned a lot of public speaking and servant leadership and serving the community. So learning these things, I think, was really powerful. And just showing up and say, how can I inspire just one little girl to go after her dreams too? And
I love it. Yeah, I want to talk about your military career because you just said before the show, we've got some pictures. Excuse me. We have some pictures that I want to put up on the screen of your military career. And now, after 22 years, you're like a month away?
Yes, a little less than a month. 1 day left in boots. That's it.
Wow. And talk about some of these. Oh, that's something that caught my eye. Did you give a talk on base, or what was that picture of?
So that was my reenlistment actually a couple years ago. They say I pulled a Tom Brady because I actually retired from the military. And a couple of people found out that I was retiring. They're like, hey, we need you to stay. We really would love your help. And so I pulled my retirement on the last day to continue to serve for another 2 years.
Wow. And the military continues to shape you because, I mean, think about the discipline it takes. When they say, 0500, that's not 0505. It's actually 0455, right? I mean, you got to be on time. You got to be punctual. How does that continue to shape you?
Well, I love to maximize each day. I always say we have 1,440 minutes in a day, and everything is time blocked. And I try to put so much in there to live each day to its fullest. And I'm not always on time. I wish I could say that. That is something that I'm working on, but definitely making sure that I have intention. And I love to use my 34-minute mindset. So it's 2 minutes of gratitude, goal setting, and intentions.
Wow.
30 minutes of movement, and then 2 minutes of reflection and celebration at the end of every single night. So,
well, in like every great movie, the hero has adversity. And so in your Rocky movie or $1 Million Baby movie, the adversity came when your body shut down. Talk about that period in your life.
Yeah, so I was growing my military career, and in 2005, it was just 3 years going in, and I was in my senior year of my undergrad. I made it to, the top in banking at that time too. I got an assistant branch manager position. I was going through my senior year of my undergrad, made it to the NFL, starting my military career, balancing so much. And I was working out and traveling around and being a local celebrity, really, in my hometown in Buffalo. And I just was exhausted and burnt out. And I was in a toxic relationship at the time, kind of physically and emotionally abusive. And most importantly, I was in a toxic, abusive relationship with myself. My worthiness, that negative self-talk, it just was not, it wasn't pretty. And so my body ended up shutting down. And I got diagnosed with a really rare form of rheumatoid arthritis and spent 6 months in a wheelchair.
Wow.
And they tried to figure out what was wrong with me.
Well, and if your identity was, from cheerleader to wheelchair, I mean, what was that period like?
Very challenging. That was my first time that I recognized, poor mental health and depression, eating my emotions, growing sideways in the wheelchair. I gained a lot of weight. I had to give myself injections in my quads and my abdomen every other day, take a chemotherapy pill to be able to walk. So that was the cocktail to be able to even move and put my feet underneath me to be able to walk every day. So I went from NFL athlete, top in the military, growing my military career, to you're going to be on this medication for the rest of your life. You're never going to be able to run again. You're never going to be an NFL cheerleader again. And oh, by the way, that medication is disqualifying. We're going to kick you out of the military too. So
Wow.
Everything was gone, just like that.
So if that was your bottom, how did you dig yourself out?
I got help. So one of the first things that I love to train and help people with is take control, right? So put you back in the driver's seat. Because when we're going through crisis, whether it be illness, I've survived cancer as well. So there's a lot of things that feels really muddy and messy and like you're in the eye of the storm and you don't know where to go. I think the biggest thing is really take control. And in order, as humans, we want to control. We want safety and we want control. So putting yourself back in the driver's seat. So one of the things I did was I read Arthritis for Dummies. I got to realize what inflammation was. What is the power of nutrition and movement and how does it work? And I found God too, right? Mm. So, I prayed. There's a lot there because this was prior to, YouTube University and Facebook where you're like, hey, here's my ailments, or Dr. Google, right? I had to read and research and figure out what was happening in my body at the young age of 22. And then I also found therapy. And so that was really, really powerful for me to say, well, I'm not crazy. I'm actually going through a human experience and understanding what my brain and my body is going through right now. It was under trauma. And so as soon as I realized it, I had an awareness and I was able to do something about it.
Well, I think that's why you're such a successful coach, because some of these coaches, one, they haven't walked a mile in your shoes. Every person that you're coaching, you can relate to them, whatever journey they're on right now. It also caused you to write a couple of books. Let's start with the first one, the Crystal Clear Life Planner.
Sure. So this is the Crystal Clear Life Planner.
All right, go ahead and
Hold it up.
And,
Okay.
yeah, there we go.
So it's a women's 90-day action plan to embrace chaos and live a fulfilling life.
And tell us, what is it? A journal or what is it?
Yes, it's a 90-day life journal, and I won't, don't zoom in. You'll see all my secrets in here, okay? But it really maps out a love letter to yourself, gives you instructions.
Nice.
It's 90 days, right? Morning and evening reflections. Map out your dream day. I host vision board workshops too, so there's a little bit of the 8 pillars of your life. So it maps out, and then you can set intentions for the goals, morning, evening.
I love it. It keeps you accountable.
Absolutely.
Okay, the next book. Go ahead and hold that up close to your face so we can see it. There we go. Okay, The Road to Resilience. I love that. Okay, tell us about that book.
Yes, this is The Road to Resilience. It's 5 ways to have courageous confidence during seasons of change. And both of these are available in any bookstore across all over the globe, so it's pretty cool. But this is my first memoir where I started to really have a voice and tell my story. So there's a lot of stories in here that unpack all the life lessons. There's journal prompts in here to elevate and change your life. And this maps out my 5 core competencies: how I bounce back, what is resilience, and how do I have this toolkit for when I need it, for when life gets thrown at me. Because it will.
And you've got a couple of books in the works.
I do. Couple more.
Okay.
I've run a couple of collaborations. I've recognized that you talked about that comparison, right?
Sure.
Growing up as an entrepreneur now for almost 7 years, I started an online business in 2017. It was a lonely journey.
Sure.
I was like, I can do this all by myself. I think a lot of women in the military kind of have that same feeling too, right? And as entrepreneurs, we're like, I can do all this. And then I realized I need community. And collaborating with other people that are aligned to my mission, like yourself, it's just been so beautiful. So I aligned with an incredible couple, military spouse couple, and so the latest one is Leave No Military Spouse Behind, coming out May 1st. And then I have my men's version, because everyone's like, Crystal, I love your planner, but it has diamonds and like it says, hey, beautiful. Well, why can't we say, hey, beautiful to a man too? Yeah. But I kind of played with some marketing and some of the prompts. And so there's a men's version coming out June 1st, which I'm really excited about.
That is really exciting. Okay, you also do these fabulous retreats. So we've got some video and we're going to roll it. And I want you to kind of describe what happens on your retreats.
Oh my gosh, this is the most amazing thing. Like I said, I started an online business in 2017 and I grew this community. I've moved 5 times now in 7 years.
Wow.
To be able to travel around for the military, and also as a military spouse, I'm always moving. And so I don't have a set of friends that, that are with me forever, right? Sure. So I'm constantly moving around, finding a network. So I built a community of women all over the world. And so I trained them fitness, right? And then their mindset. I have a mastermind. And when COVID started coming, like 2021, when I launched my book, they're like, hey, we want to meet in person. We have this amazing accountability community, sisterhood. And so I started hosting retreats. And now I've hosted 7 of them now. And I have incredible women just coming together, fitness, nutrition, adventure, fun. There's a coaching curriculum, and it's a sisterhood. We have.
And it's a total mind, body, spirit experience. In fact, there are so many different testimonials on her YouTube channel. I urge you to go follow her on YouTube. We found one that I particularly like. Let's go ahead and roll that.
So I'm coming to you from Costa Rica, fresh from the Revival Retreat, to try to explain a little bit about what this retreat is and what it means. But until you experience it, it is not really something that's easily put into words. So the scenery here is beautiful, but the work that you're going to do on your body and on your mind is far beyond what I thought I was capable of doing, far beyond what I imagined doing. And I'm so grateful that Crystal was here to lead us through this process and help us find our best selves so that we can live our best lives. So if you have questions, please reach out. This is a life-changing experience, and it's something that, like I said, really just can't be put into words. You have to be here. You have to take it in. You have to be present and mindful, and just live your life to the fullest.
I love the sisterhood that you formed, and she put it very well. Now you have an opportunity for people to sponsor a veteran. Talk about that.
Yes. So as a female veteran, going into my next chapter of life after retirement, this is my way that I want to continue to serve. So I want to continue to serve female veterans that are maybe in a season of change or transition and find their next level version of themselves and continue the camaraderie and the sisterhood that we've developed. So I'm looking for sponsors and anyone that wants to support veterans or female veterans or military spouses to send them to this incredible experience.
Outstanding. Well, you are so inspiring. I know you have another half marathon to run later today, so I'll let you change into your athletic wear. But thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you, Jeff.
We're going to end with her website, which is, of course, KrystaloreCrews.com, the great Krystalore Crews. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you.
That's it for now. We'll see you next time.